everyone, I'm Alison from Better Half Reviews, and this is a solo half review, but I have a guest.
So it's not really solo.
Whatever. Can you introduce yourself, guest?
I'm Bryce. I am the lesser half of Better Half Reviews.
No, he's just the other half of Better Half Reviews. Anyway, we're talking about Black Sonata. It's a game by John King, and it's published by Sideroom Games and TGG Games. It is a hidden movement and solo deduction game.
In Black Sonata, you are tracking a dark lady throughout the streets of London, and every time you get close to finding her, you gain a clue as to her characteristics. However, you need to confront her and unmask her before she leaves for good.
Alright, so let's check it out. Okay, so to get started, you need the board face up. These are the Dark Lady tokens. These are going to be what you're following and searching around for throughout the game. So you're going around the city, trying to discover who she is and her identifiers. So to get that started, you've got these city cards. Note that they have holes in them. They are there on purpose. You're going to be moving and collecting these as you go, and these will help you find the Dark Lady. To set up your deck, there's cards and there's all these different letters here on top and bottom. The top is for beginner, the bottom is for advanced. And what you're going to do is put these cards in a row. So I'm picking the far left side and putting them in alphabetical order from bottom to top. So A, B, C, all the way up to Z. Once you get that set, you're going to cut the deck at least once. You can cut it another time if you want to. But before that, you should actually place your marker. So this will be you. You pick one area on the board. I'll start here. Now we should cut the deck, so we don't know where the Dark Lady will start until after we place. So these will show you where the Dark Lady might be. So everywhere that there is a cross symbol, that's where the Dark Lady might be. And to keep track of your game, there's this little card that keeps track of your rounds. So for an average game, you start with the 2 on top. After your deck is all the way cut and everything, put it on the bottom. When you get around to that card again, you'll flip it over to the 1, go through again, flip it. Once you get to the 0, you ran out of time to find the Dark Lady. Alright, so put that on the 2 side, put it on the bottom. You've got these fog cards, you shuffle them up. We'll talk a little bit more about these later, but they could have helpful things or not so helpful things hidden underneath them. And these come into use when you search for the Dark Lady. Now, more importantly, we need to choose who our Dark Lady is, so you're going to shuffle all of these up. Pick one. So I'll pick this one. And it has this symbol. So you find the matching card with that symbol. Set that to the side. So these will all go underneath the Dark Lady card. These will give us our clues. This one is the Dark Lady. We'll put it partially under the board where it has the Dark Lady section. This is another clue that might be extra helpful, but you only attain this clue if you go to every location on the map. So we'll put the map cards on top of that one. Please note that not every single card is going to be used because there are dashes and some blanks in here. So we were doing the first section. There are no letters here listed in the first section, so none of these are being used. We'll put them back in the box. And you're ready to go. So how the game works is you take a turn, the Dark Lady takes a turn. When you're playing on easy mode, which is what we're doing, the Dark Lady will always move one space. So if she started here, she may end up here or here. And she will never stay in the same place after each card. So to get it started, we'll update her position. She moved to the theater. So since she moves one at a time, this is connected. She can move here. She wouldn't move here because that would take 2 spaces. And this one, she could move up here. And now it's my turn. I can choose to move, I can choose to stay, or I could choose to search. But in order to search, I have to be at one of the locations where the Dark Lady is. So I'm going to choose to move. I'll move here. So I moved to Bishopsgate. That's a new location for me. I get this card, and this could help me with searching later on. Alright, so it's the Dark Lady's turn. She's going to move. She's going to move to the home location. So she could move down, but this is also connected to here. She could have gone here. This one, it does have a house, but she can't stay in the same spot. So she would move down here. Okay, so let's say we get into the situation where it's the Dark Lady's turn. She moves, and she goes to the location with Mead. She would move up into my location, or she could have moved down. Since there's two there, I'll decide to search. So that will be my turn. So for searching, you pick up a fog card, and you put it on top here, so that way you don't see what the next location will be. Now I'm going to take this card and the location where I'm at, which is Eastcheap. I'm going to place this underneath and flip it over. If I flip it over and see her silhouette in the circle, that means I have found her. So, I found her. Alright. So, this card is discarded. Place this back. And now I get a clue card. I take the top one. And this is what's going to help me figure out who the Dark Lady is. So we have this symbol with these flowers. That is this one. So this says that this lady either has 0 or 2 in common with our Dark Lady. Still too early to figure out who she is, but that's good to know. So we'll place that to the side. So now that I've searched, the Dark Lady is going to flee. She flees depending on the number of clue cards that you have. We only have one, so she will just flee by one card. If you have more than one clue card, you would take multiples in a stack and not look underneath. So she flees, and now she gets her regular turn, which will be moving to the cross. These tokens actually are two-sided, so the gray side I use for like, this could maybe be it, and when I turn it to the black side, that means I'm pretty sure this is one of the identifying markers of the Dark Lady. Something I mentioned earlier was utilizing these fog cards. So if I want to, instead of moving, I can choose to use a fog card if it's on top of my deck. So if you want to use a fog card, what you're going to do is grab another one, put it as a placeholder, and flip over your new card, your fog card, and it says reveal a new card, a new clue card. So, sweet, that's a bonus, we get an extra one. This one has 0 or 2 in common. So you can try to use your clues to figure out who the Dark Lady is. If it's too early, you can, keep on searching. But something to note, if you run out of fog cards, you lose the game. If you go through the deck enough that you show up with a 0, you lose the game. So let's say that we had enough clues and we figured out, we think it's the chain, the ink, and the rattle. You have to be at the location where the Dark Lady is and find her in order to reveal it and see if you have the right guess. If you find her and you have your guess, you'll flip over the card and see if you have the right combination. If you do, you win. You have found the Dark Lady. Then you count up your score based on where this card is and what number is on top. And that is the gist of Black Sonata. So that's how you play Black Sonata. Let's talk about how we feel about it. What are some of the pros?
So I really found the mechanisms interesting. How the Dark Lady moved throughout London and how you're supposed to track her. I just thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. The first time I played it, and like the cards with the little holes, and you go searching around, you put it behind the card, you flip it over, and then you see the little silhouette. You're like, what? I found her. That's so cool. And as I was playing it, I'm like, wow, all the like thought process that went into this to make this game actually like possible is amazing. And it started to hurt my brain trying to think about designing the game. So I stopped trying to thinking about that and was just totally impressed and blown away that I could play a solo hidden movement and deduction game. I was like, what? And it works.
Yeah, it works really well. And it's fun to see like the different spots being like highlighted and you're trying to chase after them and plan ahead to get to the right spot. And then like sometimes it goes down to like one spot and you're like, I know she's there for sure, but I'm not there. I can't confront her. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to try to move over here. And then all of a sudden, like before you can get there, it's like 5 different spots are now lit up and you're like, ah, I totally lost where she was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And I like how the game is really compact, and just everything about it, like the way that you keep track of your rounds is a card in the deck and you flip it over and rotate it as you go through it. Everything is just compact and perfectly fine that it's that way. But yeah, it's super thinky and it's a great puzzle. I love puzzly type games, and this really hits the spot for me. And I can play it by myself if I want to, and if I want to be a heathen and not a true solo player, I can play it with someone else too, and bank off of their thought process. But this is a fantastic solo game if you just want to like use your brain and think and kind of try to figure it out. And the chase is what makes it kind of fun, where it's like, sure, you could just do the puzzle and try to figure out the identity by flipping out cards, but the chase is what makes it super fun, and just going around trying to find her and get those clues.
Yeah, it all just comes together really well and makes for a really fun solo game.
And something else I liked about the game was the fog deck, where you would put those cards when you were guessing, and so like that would put like a placeholder for your game. But then when those cards came back up again, you could use the ability and flip it over. Sometimes it was helpful, and other times it would take cards away from you, or it would change the identity of the Dark Lady, which actually sometimes is helpful. But I like that there's just that little twist, and you don't know what card is coming up next. It's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of variation in the ways that you can play the game, with the top and bottom section when how you lay out your cards, and you can pick your different difficulty, and then the extra options in the rulebook. Okay, so let's move over to the cons. So for me, when I first heard about this game and saw it, I was like, this doesn't look that pretty. I like games with lots of color and theme and just something that looks very approachable and appealing. And I judged this by the cover, which is kind of sad, because I kept hearing how good this game was. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to get over myself and just try it. And I'm so glad I did. So this game doesn't have to be flashy and everything. And I think it's very appropriate with the time frame that they're dealing with, and they even use paintings from people back in the day. So I think that's really cool how it looks, actually.
I didn't think the look of it was a con for me. The whole aesthetic of it was kind of like sketchy. um, like a sketchbook, like
Oh, okay.
an artist like trying to doing a first draft of something and just like jotting down ideas, and the whole backstory is like this is based off of like Shakespeare and some of his ideas or whatever. And so it was, to me it was just kind of like a sketchbook of like maybe how something could play out in his writings or whatever. So I thought there was a decent amount of theme in it.
Oh no, yeah, there's totally theme to it. It was just me with my preconceived notions and judging a book by its cover, and then now that I've like learned about it more and looked into it, I'm like, yeah, this is totally cool. I love how it looks. So I grew out of my con. So there you go. There's only one other con that's like an actual con I can think of. If you play this game too much, like back to back or within a certain time frame, you may start to remember some of the different icons on certain cards, or maybe the layout of some of the decks. But I haven't really had that come up yet, because I've heard that from other people, and I can totally see how that would happen. So if you're gonna play this game, don't play it to death, because then you might not see, like, you might notice all the patterns and may not be as random or thinky, and you'll just be like, okay, I know this card's coming up next. But so that's just my one caution, is don't play it too much and too often, because it might become too predictable for you. But there is an expansion that adds some more stuff to it, and I'm really interested in that.
I didn't even know about that. So we might just have to get that.
Yes, see, approval. He said it on camera. This is staying in the review. Well, now we're gonna get it. Thanks, Bryce.
You're welcome.
So overall, this game is amazing. I love what it does for the board game community, especially with the solo players, and especially over the last year or so. Solo gaming has been really going up and up. This is one that you should definitely try out if you are a solo gamer, or even if you're not. If you like puzzles, this is a game to play.
if you like social deduction at all, I think you should pick this up. It's interesting how they do that in a solo game, and I'm not much of a solo player. That's why solo half reviews is just her. But I mean, I've got this to the table, so I really like it.
That's why he's here as a guest today for my solo half review, because it's just that good. It helped a non-solo player play a solo game, so he is proof for you of that. So Black Sonata is an amazing game. You should definitely check it out. We'll have the link in the description where you can purchase the game and also the expansion, but don't buy them all out because I still need the expansion, okay? All right. So I'm Allison. This has been a solo half reviews review, and this is
Bryce,
from Better Half Reviews. All right. I hope you have a great time and happy gaming.
have fun.
Let's talk about how we feel about it. So, pros.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I was thinking prose, and I was gonna quote Shakespeare, and then I just totally blanked.
To be or not to be.
That's too brute.
It's more like.
It's more like
It's more
at
like.
too brute.
He got stabbed.